Welcome to the CAE Group 2 Senior Project Demo. In this video, we'll be demonstrating our 6 requirements, which are having a low-fidelity 3D model of the Tampa International Airport, having the airport model include annotated gates and terminals, having at least 4 3D models of aircrafts used in animation, having a minimum of 5 camera angles for the airport simulation, having the Open Sky API trigger animations of airport traffic, and having an accurate indication of the current weather at the TPA. We will do this by showing you our 3D models, our simulation, and then our simulation intercut with real-time footage of the TPA. We'll start with our 3D model of the Tampa International Airport. So as you can see, this is a reference that we used to get our 3D model of the Tampa International Airport. We went into Google Earth and then found the entire tarmac and 3D model of the Tampa International Airport, and then as you can see on the left, we created our own 3D model of the Tampa International Airport and then labeled it and annotated it so that it would meet our requirements. Here's some more reference photos of the tarmac and the terminals that we used. So now that we showed you our references, let's show you our 3D model and 3D environment. So what we have here is the tarmac and the 3D model of the Tampa International Airport together in our environment in the simulation. On the left you can see the reference photo that we used for the tarmac as well as the Tampa International Airport, and it is annotated so that you can tell what each building is as well as what each terminal is. Now here's a closer look at our 3D model. It's annotated with all the specific information that meets our second requirement. Here we have the main terminal, the remote baggage claim, Terminal A and all of its gates, Terminal C and all of its gates, Terminal E and all of its gates, and finally Terminal F and all of its gates. So as we move on, we're going to demonstrate our next requirement, which is having a minimum of 4 airplanes. As you can see here, we have 5. Each one is based off of a different model. This is a 737 airplane, plane. We wanted to make sure that we had a standard model. Then we have the Canada Air 737 airplane. This is one of the many airlines that frequent the Tampa International Airport. Moving on, we have the Alaskan Airlines plane, which is also a 737 airplane. We have our last 2 airplanes, which are both A320s. The first one is blank so that we have a standard model, and then our second one is the Southwest Airlines model, which we will see in a later simulation later on in this video. So let's get back to our 3D simulation of the Tampa International Airport so that we can show you it in action and our next requirement, which is having a minimum of 5 camera angles. On the lower left hand side you will see the camera numbers, and in the upper right hand side you will see another one of our requirements, which is having an accurate current weather indication at the Tampa International Airport. As you can see, the weather indication has 3 modes: cloudy, rainy, and sunny. Now for our last requirement, we took a trip to the Tampa International Airport itself. We got some footage of the flight schedule and then compared that to our API and found some planes that were on both of them. We found a plane arriving at 11:05 and ran both that footage against our simulation to see how they stacked up. Here's the results. As you can see, the plane has landed and now it is taxiing into the terminal. This Southwest airplane needs to make its way to Terminal A because that's where all the other Southwest airplanes go. Now it is slowing down so it can dock into its gate. Now let's move on to a departing example. Another Southwest airplane is departing from Terminal A at 11:11. So we found that it matches our API, so we're going to run that simulation side by side just like the last one. Right now both our simulation and the airplane are taxiing to the runway. They both turn the corner of the runway and then they're ready to take off. Now that we've explored our mandatory requirements, here are a few other requirements that CAE thought would be really cool that we included later on. So our requirement number 7 is having a first-person view of the simulation of the Tampa International Airport, so you can view incoming and outgoing flights from a first-person perspective. Requirement 8 is having dynamic lighting of the Tampa International Airport simulation so you can view the simulation based on the different times of day. So if it's in the afternoon, the sun will be low in the sky. If it's the middle of the day, it'll be high in the sky. And at nighttime, the sky will be pitch black. And our final stretch requirement is having an animation for the vehicle traffic at the Tampa International Airport Tarmac to see the service vehicles going around the Tampa International Airport. So here you can see our 7th requirement, which is having a first-person perspective of the simulation. We decided to put the spectator on top of the long-term parking garage because that's where we took our video that you saw earlier in this presentation, and we thought that it's the best vantage point to see the simulation. You can also see that there are some other spectators that are on the long-term parking, and finally you can notice that the user can move around however they want in this 3D environment to view the simulation. Now here you can see our 8th requirement, which is having the day and night cycle for our simulation. As the time moves in your clock on the user's computer, the day and night cycle also changes. So every hour the sun moves a little bit, and then once it hits nighttime it goes pitch black. It's interesting to note that once it gets darker and darker, you can see a twilight happening when the sun is beginning to set. And finally, we have our last requirement, which is having an animation for the vehicle traffic at the Tampa International Airport Tarmac. As you can see, this is a wide view of the center of the Tampa International Airport. If you can notice, on the sides, you'll see these transport vehicles, they're small yellow dots, as well as the trams in the middle, which are very popularly known for taking people to and from the terminals. And with that, we complete our demonstration. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to Tom McCann for helping coordinate with us from CAE.